Nantucket, though, look at this. We've got wind gusts around 45 miles per hour on the saturated ground that we're going to have because of the rain that's already fallen. Could start to see some more power outages as well. Not to mention, we've got flooding issues all up and down the coast of the mid-Atlantic into New England. In fact, a coastal flood advisory for a coastal flood warning, for places like Ocean City, where you could see up to 2 feet of inundation for flood vulnerable areas, depending on the timing of the tide cycle, especially overnight tonight when we see that high tide. Also, wind advisory and gale warnings in effect. So we've got all of this coming together. You can see the winds right now. Atlantic City 16 miles per hour, but in Montauk, gusts up to 33 miles per hour. Ray.
In Massachusetts on the coast, they've been in the thick of some of the worst weather with this coastal storm. Let's get out to our Mike Seidel, meteorologist in Plymouth, with how the winds are whipping things up there.
The wind and the waves have been unrelenting since late Wednesday night here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And at high tide, you can see what's happening. These 8 to 10 footers are crashing against the rocky coast and the seawall, and then water gets sprayed into the parking lot here at the beach. By the way, water temperature in the mid-50s, about the same as the air temperature. Winds sustained about 25 or so miles an hour. We're getting gusts 35 to 40 miles an hour, and that's blowing Cape Cod Bay up and over the seawall. As far as coastal flooding, not a major issue, fortunately, with this storm, because we're at a low astronomical tide cycle. So that cuts several feet off the high tide and saves us from any moderate or major coastal flooding. Still, the risk of some minor coastal flooding out on Nantucket, where they had wind gusts yesterday clocked by ham radio operator of 60 miles an hour. This is all going to move out tomorrow, and Sunday's going to be a much better day as that weather front and snowstorm in the plains kicks everything out to sea late tomorrow and tomorrow night.
Thanks, Mike. You can certainly see there are impacts along the coast, and not a big area of real estate being impacted, but some nonetheless, as subtropical storm Melissa spins offshore. Here's what the models think going to happen in radar in terms of where the rain's going to be falling. Notice the low. It's actually sitting well out to the southeast of New England, but as we get into the afternoon, some showers around, and occasionally, as you can see, some of the yellows and darker greens, some heavier showers possible. So through the commute, through your Friday evening out, plan the rain gear and plan on maybe intermittent on the wipers, maybe high speed for a bit. But as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning, most of the rain showers pull away. There's not going to be a whole lot of rain to talk about. Highest totals, an inch or two, that might be a little aggressive, but the bottom line is look at what small amount of the U.S. coastline here is affected by the rain from this event, and put that on top of the small amount of real estate affected by, let's say, the coastal impacts. And really, it could have been a more impactful system. Now, as we go through Saturday, going to be a great start to the weekend. New York and down toward Washington, D.C. in the 70s. But a front on the march that will be responsible for pushing our subtropical storm out to sea does push through and better back into the interior here, upper 50s to low 60s. And our temperatures come down even in New York City and Washington, D.C., as well as Boston, Felicia, into the 60s.
Thanks, Ray. Just weeks into fall, Winter Storm Aubrey bringing winter to parts of the Rockies and northern plains. The snowplows were out in full force yesterday. 7.1 inches of snow fell in Bismarck. Heavy snow and wind not only smacking North Dakota, but also South Dakota right now. Colorado, you're done with the snow from Aubrey, but yesterday you were in a winter wonderland, and today you're in the bitter temperatures across the Rockies. So certainly a potent winter storm bringing it all with it. So we've got the cold side of Aubrey bringing the winter weather. We've got the warmer side of Aubrey bringing the chance for severe weather. First, let's though talk about that stormy winter side of Aubrey. You can see where we've seen some of the highest totals and the slightly higher elevations there in Montana. We're talking feet of snow. Starting to see the snow add up near Bismarck, where you're seeing some of those pinks. That's up to 24 inches of snow, and we're continuing. In fact, this blizzard warning has just been expanded. This was not stretching all the way into the southern portions of North Dakota earlier, and now it is. Of course, with the blizzard warning, we could talk about 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, which of course could blow the snow falling from the sky, but also blow the snow that has already fallen. That could create whiteout conditions, so a dangerous situation. Here's the setup around that surface of low pressure there at the surface. We've got the cold air wrapping around, and that is what's getting that snow going. You can see kind of the direction of this wrap around moisture. You can also see something pretty interesting here. As that rain gets pulled into the colder air, that's where you're seeing it's switch over into the wintry precip, and that's what's happening. That's why we're getting the snow. So the forecast for today through about lunchtime, 54-mile-per-hour wind gusts at Devil's Lake. That is just kind of hard to even imagine when you would be out in that and the snow would be blowing and it's just so cold. Fargo, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and watch as this expands through northern Minnesota as well as we head into Saturday. But still, North Dakota, you're not done. Northern South Dakota, you're still not done. Even by Saturday afternoon, still snowing there and stretching out into portions of Wisconsin as well. So you can see the storm system is not in any hurry to leave. Even as we head into Sunday morning, we're still looking at wind gusts around 22 miles per hour, which could still cause some snow drifts and trouble for traveling. Snow still to come. You can see we're expecting feet of snow there around Devil's Lake. Right?
Yeah, it sounds like the middle of winter. Pretty impressive. Aubrey is mid-latitude cyclone. Still 2, maybe even 3 feet of snow could fall in parts of North Dakota. Meteorologist Chris Warren is in Devil's Lake, North Dakota with the latest.
Winter Storm Aubrey is an unusual early snowstorm. Early October, signs of October around, beautiful color in the trees, but that will end up potentially being bad news. Where the snow does settle on trees, no matter what color, still green in some cases, when it settles on that, it can weigh them down, bring down some of the trees and either cause power outages or damage to whatever it falls on. So that's a concern that you don't get necessarily right in the middle of winter. We don't have the leaves to catch the extra snow. Travel, of course, will be a huge concern. Right here, this is a tunnel, a pedestrian tunnel, a bike path that goes under Highway 2. And Highway 2, where we are, we're in the 2nd county south of the Canadian border here in Devil's Lake. And here in North Dakota, this would be like one of the northernmost stretches to go from Minnesota to Montana, or from Montana to Minnesota. This is an east-west or west-east highway that we're walking under right now. And we're about halfway under, and there's a lot of snow. Look at all of the snow that has been blown in here, drifted in. The winds are somewhat out of the northeast, so we're not seeing the winds howling through like we saw happening yesterday. But as we get to the opening, we'll see the winds pick up a little bit. You can see how the wind is essentially snow blasted onto the ground. And then the bike path quickly gets to about knee deep. It's the wind. What happens, either the wind's gonna go for miles or for hundreds of yards or however long it goes. It's either gonna hit something or the wind's gonna slow down. And that can happen for a number of reasons. And when it slows down, the snow settles out of it. It settles out of the bottom. So when you look, and when it blows hard, you see white. Beyond that, white. So it's white on white on white, which makes it so dangerous, in fact, that it can even be disorienting when you're walking and if you're driving. So it's going to be dangerous potentially through most of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely going to be a storm that's not exiting quickly and leaving behind some of that weather to deal with.
Yeah, I'm impressed actually for early October. The temperatures and the snow continuing to make it just awful out there. In the wake of this winter storm, our Justin Michael shows us how many people are reacting to this weather whiplash. Justin.
Yeah. Hey guys, I got breaking news for you. It's freezing here, 32 degrees. Finally, after a 9-degree start to the day at 6 o'clock this morning, we finally hit 32 degrees. That's a pretty quick warm-up considering, but still, it has been some weather whiplash, like Ray said. If you think about it, just this past Wednesday, it was 83 degrees. Less than 48 hours later, this morning at 6 o'clock, it was 9 degrees. That's a 74-degree temperature swing in less than 48 hours. But also, Winter Storm Aubrey did bring snow to Denver, the Mile High City. Take a look at some video how people were reacting to that and dealing with it yesterday. In fact, more than 6 inches of snow fell in Center City, Denver yesterday, and it really was quite a messy commute. Believe it or not, there were more than 300 accidents just during yesterday's morning commute because it is the very first winter storm out the gate. Aubrey, letter A, first one out the gate. Very messy for a lot of people. The good news is very few of those accidents were injury accidents, and there were no deaths associated with any of the accidents yesterday. We were actually talking with a young woman this morning who had a little bit of a scare as she was coming to a four-way stop yesterday because of the slick conditions and how slippery it was and dangerous, icy. She slid right through the intersection coming to a four-way stop. So thankfully, Winter Storm A, Aubrey, is now out of the way, and we'll have to see what B brings along if it ever does impact Denver. But still, it has been quite last 48 hours, and it's not going to be over. The high temperature today, after hitting an all-time record low temperature for this early in the year, October, at 9 degrees this morning. It's going to be in the 50s later today, 60s tomorrow. For the Broncos to be home on Sunday, it's going to be in the 70s and sunny and quite lovely. So after this weather craziness, it's actually going to shape up to be a pretty decent forecast looking forward, with temperatures in the 60s and 70s from Sunday on, and then low temperatures in the 30s and 40s. So it's actually going to be quite nice here. But as you can see, looking up the 16th Street Mall, Denver is waking up and certainly coming out of the cold hibernation that was this morning, and that's a good thing. And Ray, the only remnant we have left of how cold it was is my coffee puck. I froze some coffee this morning just for the fun of it, because that's what you can do in cold weather. Ray, into you.
All right, thanks, Justin. And yeah, I'm sure there's more to come. And now we take a look, and everybody's looking at this and say, well, what does this mean for everyone? All right, this isn't about falling snow or blowing snow or blizzard. This is more about the cold here. Freeze warnings, Quad Cities included in that, and even some of the western suburbs west of Chicago. As you get near DeKalb and points west, freeze warnings for tonight. Not into Cook County, but cold enough, so temperatures in the mid-30s there. But some of the bigger cities like St. Louis and even Kansas City get into some of these advisories. St. Louis not quite to it, but down near Springfield, we do have some frost advisories. And then a freeze watch for most of the state of Oklahoma. So certainly the coldest air so far this fall is starting to spill south. As Aubrey passes and goes into southern Canada, you can see the dump in temperatures now. 19 right now in Denver, and as you saw where Justin was, we're at freezing. But look at the warmth here, at least for now, as temperatures are starting to fall. These temperatures will continue to fall through the day. And for Austin, as we go through the day today, yeah, this is right now. Those were yesterday's temps. We're seeing these temperatures fall. Right now, you went from the upper 70s in San Antonio. You're currently down into the 50s. So it is a day today where you've got big changes in temperatures. Your high temperature occurs when you go into work, and your low temperature occurs when you come home from work. It's kind of amazing. One of those days where you know that winter isn't far behind when you get your daytime highs early in the day. And look at these 24-hour temperature changes. Almost 40 degrees colder than 24 hours ago. In Austin, 14 degrees colder in Wichita. Denver, believe it or not, from that 9 degrees yesterday, you are 13 degrees milder. So things are looking up in Denver, right? With sunshine back into the forecast. Now, as we go through this afternoon in Chicago, you were in the upper 60s this morning. By 1 o'clock this afternoon, 49 degrees, and those numbers will continue to go down as we go through today and tonight with, Felicia, some of those freeze warnings to the west of Chicago.
So the cold side of Aubrey there, but the warm side of Aubrey going to bring some rain and thunderstorms. The wet weather could cause delays at a number of major airports and slow weekend getaways. Those details straight ahead. Plus, new evacuations being ordered this morning as a huge wildfire explodes overnight near Los Angeles. Learn if the weather will help or hurt firefighters.
So Josh, you going for our Drive Safe and Safe discount?
Yep, using the app, driving safe. You wanna go, bro? Do not mess with my discount.
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save.
Hi, my name is Sam Davis, and I'm going to tell you about exciting plans available to anyone with Medicare. Many plans provide broad coverage and still may save you money on monthly premiums and prescription drugs. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits, but you have to meet a deductible for each, and then you're still responsible for 20% of the cost. Next, let's look at a Medicare supplement plan. As you can see, they cover the same things as Original Medicare, and they also cover your Medicare deductibles and coinsurance, but they often have higher monthly premiums and no prescription drug coverage. Now, let's take a look at Humana's Medicare Advantage plans. With a Humana Medicare plan, hospital stays, doctor office visits, and Medicare deductibles are covered. And of course, most Humana Medicare Advantage plans include prescription drug coverage. In fact, in 2018, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $7,400 on average on their prescription costs. Most Humana Medicare Advantage plans help you stay active and keep fit by including a Silver Sneakers fitness program at no extra cost. And you may be able to save on dental and vision expenses because coverage is now included with most Humana Medicare Advantage plans. You get all this coverage for as low as a $0 monthly plan premium in many areas. And your doctor and hospital may already be a part of Humana's large network. If you want the facts, call right now for the free decision guide from Humana. There is no obligation, so call the number on your screen right now to see if your doctor is in our network, to find out if you could save on your prescriptions, and to get our free decision guide. Licensed Humana sales agents are standing by, so call now.
Hi, Phil Swift here. This storm season, you need the entire Flex Seal family of products. Seal up cracks and holes to prevent wind and water from damaging your home. Now it's easy to mend broken fences and make quick automotive repairs. Severe storms can be a nightmare. Now you can patch huge holes to seal up roof leaks. Get the Flex Seal family of products at these fine retailers.
Sensitive skin? Cetaphil Moisturizing Cream with 24-hour moisture lock formula gives continuous soothing relief for dry, sensitive skin. Cetaphil skin is healthy skin.
Do you use catheters? Are you using the catheter that's really best for you?
Oh, yeah. For years, I'd been using one kind of catheter, and I never knew that there were other really great catheters available until Liberator sent me samples to try. If I had not tried the samples from Liberator, I might never have found the perfect catheter for me. Liberator Medical sent me a catheter that was easier for me to use right out of the package. Now that I've found the best catheter for me, it's made my life much easier. My catheters were completely paid for, not a dime out of my pocket.
There are so many innovative catheters. Get the best catheter for you. Call Liberator Medical. Get your free catheter sample pack.
Call 1-800-745-1930. That's 1-800-745-1930.
Join Liana Brackett.
And here we go.
Paul Goodlow.
If you like that, I got more on the way.
And Dr. Greg Postel. Weekend mornings starting at 9 on Weekend Recharge.
Tracking Winter Storm Aubrey on the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Chris Warren. Devil's Lake, North Dakota. This is a big storm, and we are right in the middle of a huge area where blizzard warnings are in effect and will be through at least half of Saturday, if not longer, because even after the snow starts to wind down, that wind is still going to be howling. We're on the front end of this. Snow and blowing and drifting snow, a huge concern, but also there's a wet side into Minnesota, and flooding is going to be an issue, adding to already swollen creeks and streams and rivers. But it's fall, there's color on the leaves, and unfortunately there's also some leaves in the drains, and that can clog up in a hurry and create some localized flooding. Snow can also do the same thing when it's time to melt. But early on and through the rest of today, again, it's still early in the game here. The winds are expected to get even stronger this evening, so it's this drifting snow, and you can even see it. There's actually, it's like a cornice here. It's like being in the mountains, and you see how the snow is piling and it's just building on itself. This is the wet snow. So you have these partially melted snowflakes when temperatures are right around freezing, and they stick to each other. That's how you get the big snowflakes, and that's how you can get things like this that just adds and builds. And you have this, these are patterns that are hard to imagine until you see them. And that shows the erratic nature of the wind and the swirl, and then thus the accumulation. And I have to remind you too, it's gonna be dangerous to be on the roads because again, we are still early and it's gonna look like this for hours and hours.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, you got that right. Hours and hours still to come with that blizzard, the blizzard conditions across North Dakota. The snow certainly still falling across the Dakotas, but that's just one side of Aubrey. We've got the warm side as well that's bringing rain and storms to portions of the Great Lakes region down into the southern plains. Here's the snow. You're seeing it there. I think our low pressure system somewhere right around there, around northern Minnesota. And then we've got the frontal boundary associated with that lifting to the north and east, causing all this rain and storm activity. So let's time it out for you. Green Bay, lunch hour, time to eat lunch inside as you've got some rain moving through. Your rain and storm chances increasing in Indianapolis as we head through the next hour or so. And then as that system continues to lift to the northeast, so goes the rain chances. You can see this filling in Detroit as well, down through Indianapolis and Louisville. Can kind of make out where the front is here as it's lifting there. Minneapolis, some wraparound moisture for you as we head into the later afternoon. Things clearing out, though, for Detroit and all areas to the west as we head into the overnight hours, and that frontal boundary continues to lift away. Little tidbit here for you. Midland, you had a record high yesterday of 95 degrees. Today, your forecast high 62 and sunny. So a big shift as that colder air has built in behind Aubrey. And Memphis, you've got the chance for storms today as that frontal boundary associated with Aubrey is moving through. We've got rain ongoing across Texas. You see it here. Moving through Little Rock right now. Houston, you've already had your share of rain and a few storms. Even starting to see some storms bubbling up there around New Orleans. So the atmosphere is a bit unsettled. Watch what happens as we put this into motion for you heading through the afternoon. We continue to see this line of rain and storms making its way southeast associated with that frontal boundary, eventually moving through Nashville and Jackson as well, Shreveport. You'll get some rain and storm activity out of this. And then as we lose some of that daytime heating and head into the overnight hours, we do see this dwindling a little bit. Not a huge chance for severe weather, but a couple strong storms. And Memphis, you can see after 1 o'clock into 7 p.m. some rain, and then things do begin to clear out and cool off very quickly. Ray?
Let's go west now, where we don't have a cyclone or a storm or mid-latitude cyclone, but we're in California, and we've got this. Look at this, just north of Los Angeles is Silmar, California. This is a Saddle Ridge fire as it continues to advance toward homes. Now, we are learning that the Saddle Ridge fire is being blamed for at least one death. The man was found in his backyard in Porter Ranch trying to save his home with a garden hose. New mandatory evacuations are being ordered. And just look at that. You can see the wind whipping the flames around here, and very dry conditions also. This is what you get when you get low relative humidity, low dew points, which means not much moisture in the air, and high Santa Ana winds. You get rapid and erratic fire behavior. Red flag warnings are in place in this area, and you can see that fire kind of climbing up the hills there, pretty close to the Simi Valley in Southern California. Now, here's what we've got with the Saddle Ridge fire. 0% contained as of the last check. 4,600 acres burned and continuing to burn as the winds continue to rip here in the high wind warning area. A gust of 46 now at Newhall Pass, and down there Silmar, about 22-mile-per-hour gusts, so still quite breezy. Down further into the coastal areas of the coastal plain, wind advisories for less wind. The strongest winds yesterday at Los Angeles at LAX were under 20 miles an hour. Newhall Pass, 1% relative humidity right near that fire, the Saddle Ridge fire. So very dry conditions also, with critical fire danger to extreme fire danger in these kind of shades of orange here. So certainly the fuel's in place and the ingredients in place in terms of the atmospheric conditions for elevated to critical and extreme fire danger out across Southern California, Central California. So when you get into this extreme fire danger, this is where fires can start quickly and spread furiously, and these fires may become unmanageable, as we've got with this fire in Southern California. We are seeing some erratic behavior and 0% contained in Felicia as of last check.
Thanks, Ray. Another dreary day in New England as a nor'easter hangs off the East Coast. In fact, it's our latest named storm. But is the rain going to stick around to ruin your weekend plans? Meteorologist Mike Seidel has all the details coming up next. Let's take a live look at Devil's Lake now, where you're mostly seeing snow, right? Well, that's because we've already seen quite a bit of snow there, and we've got feet more in the forecast. More on that.
Take your time, build a home, build a place where we all can belong.
Give extra, get extra with new Extra Refreshers gum.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's boom drop time. We got a new champion. With 2019's most popular palettes and new paint selection tools online and in-store, the Home Depot's making finding your color easier than ever. Get a colorful new experience and everything you'll need to get started painting like Glidden Premium Interior, now just $18.98. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you or someone you love used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait. There may be time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-838-1016. That's 800-838-1016.
Attention! Is your structured settlement or annuity both a blessing and a curse? The regular payments you receive from a personal injury settlement or car accident may provide a layer of comfort and security, or those payments can fall short when you need cash now to make an important purchase, pay off credit card debt, or build a business. Peachtree can help you turn your structured settlement and annuity into the cash you need now. You may even be able to exchange your future payments for a lump sum of cash now and still receive payments going forward.
Hi, I'm Maggie from Peachtree. We've been helping people for over 20 years. We can help you turn your settlement or annuity payments into the cash you need for a new car, housing, or to manage debt. Recently, I helped a customer get money for fertility treatments to start a family. It's your money, and you have the right to use it now.
If you have a structured settlement and need cash now, call Peachtree today. Call 855-995-6832. That's 855-995-6832. Representatives are available now.
With moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, your plans can change in minutes. Your head wants to do one thing, but your gut says, not today. If your current treatment isn't working, ask your doctor about Entyvio. Entyvio acts specifically in the GI tract to prevent an excess of white blood cells from entering and causing damaging inflammation. Entyvio has helped many patients achieve long-term relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection caused by a virus, may be possible. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur with Entyvio. Ask your doctor about the only GI-focused biologic just for ulcerative colitis and Crohn's. Entyvio, relief and remission within reach.
Create your dream home with the experts at Lumber Liquidators Flooring. This week, save up to 40% on select hardwoods, or up to 29% on waterproof floors, plus special financing. These are the floors homes are built on. Only at Lumber Liquidators.
Ashley Home Store's Columbus Day sale is in its final week. Save up to 30% or get 0% interest for 6 whole years. Discover huge savings at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
This is what happens when you have an ocean storm, a nor'easter sitting off the coast and basically moving nowhere since Wednesday night. The winds gusting over 40 miles an hour, at times over 50 out on the Cape and the islands, piling up the water. Look at these waves coming in across Cape Cod Bay. 8-9 footers, they come right up against the wall and splash up and over. And there's the parking lot here in Plymouth Beach. Boy, the water hitting the wall and the rocks coming over the parking lot. Now these winds will begin to subside tomorrow. What's going to happen is that weather system, that storm, the snowstorm in the front, is going to kick this nor'easter out on Saturday, so the wind backs off and the waves back off over the weekend. As far as other impacts, Logan Airport, some delays today, and cancellations again pretty much relegated to the regional air carrier Cape Air. Ferry service between the Cape and the islands again canceled. It's just way too dangerous. And as far as power outages go, they've been averaging about 400 or 500 every time I check, most of those on the Cape and the islands.
And not just the Northeast feeling the impacts of the nor'easter, folks as far south as the Outer Banks in North Carolina. We've seen an increase in flooding Here you can see the water spilling onto the road in front of this motel. We're learning that Highway 12 is closed due to ocean overwash. Common when we get these nor'easters and certainly in tropical systems. That's part of the washed out with our last storm. We'll continue to now watch more beach erosion, more coastal flooding occur. Yeah, as far south as the beaches in North Carolina, maybe even South Carolina, some high rip current risks. But as you go up the coast where our subtropical storm Melissa continues to turn, yeah, we'll see those impacts continue here out along the beaches of not only New England, but down toward Long Island also, out near Montauk Point and down the Jersey Shore too, seeing some high water, and we saw some flooding locally along the beaches there. We're currently a subtropical storm with winds at 65 miles per hour, moving south-southwest at 3 miles per hour. So slow mover and heading to the south-southwest, 190 miles south of Nantucket, Massachusetts. That's the center of subtropical storm Melissa. And you can see the spin here, very well organized, very well defined center of circulation. And around it, you can see an expansive cloud field. Some of those clouds now getting into the capital district of Albany, but no rain. Most of those rain showers staying out across eastern New England and fairly light. At times, though, we may see them pick up in intensity just a bit. But here's the forecast. A slow and gradual increase in forward speed and then off toward the east and weakening as we head on through the upcoming weekend. So the low won't get too much closer to the coast, but some of these rain bands may as we go through this afternoon and tonight. This is what the future radar thinks it'll look like as we get into the afternoon. It's not going to be exact, but through the weekend, through the evening, a general area of rain showers, maybe some heavier showers at times could impact parts of the Cape. Notice most of it staying away from even coastal Rhode Island and eastern parts of Long Island as the low begins to pull away. Now, in terms of rainfall, not looking at much of the waves, significant rain, maybe up to 2 inches cumulatively over the next few hours before we see it pull away. Felicia.
Thanks, Ray. Let's get a check of what it's going to be like with the northeast travel, as we are going to have some storms around, especially where we're seeing all of this different activity. So where you're seeing the yellow plains, we are getting some turbulence reports. You can see from the southern Mississippi Valley up into the Great Lakes, and there, of course, near Melissa as well, and along the west coast near LA, where we have the gusty winds there as well. Right now, we're getting some reports of delays in Boston, more than an hour there. LaGuardia, also some delays, but that is not weather related. We did expect the airport impacts for Boston today with Melissa just offshore. Still could be seeing some delays around New England airports as we head in tomorrow, but we also start to see the possibility for some delays for places like Pittsburgh up into Syracuse as that frontal system moves in there and does spark up the chance for some storms tomorrow. For Minneapolis, you've got that possibility for some airport impacts certainly tomorrow as you're still dealing with Winter Storm Aubrey, and that continues into Boston as well. Now, Ray, we're eventually going to start to see some of these conditions improving, but for today and into tomorrow, for a lot of the areas impacted right now, still going to be dealing with it.
Yeah, we sure are. Very slow moving storm, and slow to pull away certainly as we go through the upcoming weekend. Winter Storm Aubrey is one for the record books, dumping as much as 2 feet of snow. But what's happening in the wake of the storm really has people talking too. What's causing the uproar? Well, that's going to be coming up next.
I am the twisting thundercloud. I am royalty of racing. I am Alfa Romeo.
This is Hal. This is what Medicare from Blue Cross Blue Shield does for Hal's heart. And with easy access to quality health care, imagine what we can do for you. This is the benefit of Blue.
For years, we weren't getting enough sleep, so we wanted the little sleep we were getting to be the best sleep possible.
Friends were raving about their Boll & Branch sheets, so we looked them up. Not only do they have thousands of 5-star reviews, they are loved by 3 U.S. presidents. Now we know why. They're the softest sheets we've ever felt.
And the fact that they're ethically made from organic cotton helps us sleep easy. Until the kids wake us up.
$50 off your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com.
While using smartphones and tablets is second nature to us, the same may not be true for your mom or dad, which means they can find themselves isolated from you and the family.
you go, ma'am.
GrandPad, powered by Consumer Cellular, gives you the opportunity to change that.
Hi, Mom. You got it.
Once you've introduced your mom or dad to GrandPad, they'll be able to stay in touch just like you do, sharing photos, emails, and making video calls. They can check the weather, read the news, stream music, play games, and more. With GrandPad, it's easy, even if they've had no experience with new technologies. GrandPad arrives already set up and ready to go, and it's incredibly simple to operate and charge. As soon as GrandPad is turned on, the whole family will be able to connect via the website or downloadable smartphone app. At the touch of a button,
Hi, Mary. How can I help?
GrandPad comes with award-winning customer support from Consumer Cellular, who has been an approved AARP provider for over 10 years, so members get exclusive discounts. GrandPad is safe and secure, connecting the family on a closed private network so you don't have to worry about scams or data breaches. GrandPad comes with all these accessories, and the set monthly fee provides unlimited service, so your mom or dad can use the GrandPad as much as they like. Call or go online to order today and get our 30-day risk-free guarantee. If they're not completely happy, simply return it and pay nothing. They'll be delighted with all the ways GrandPad keeps them entertained and included. You'll rest easy knowing your mom or dad is finally connected.